Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 105 of Malt Magic: The Forgotten Kingdom of Nylin. It's been a bank holiday in the UK again, so I think all of us are a bit sort of spaced out. I had a very busy weekend with kids' birthdays as well, so the DM is a wee bit tired. But we will be okay, and we will soldier on as always. So let's get through this very quickly. So the usual shout-outs and thank yous for this evening and every evening. So massive shout out to Incarnate, Albo Radio and Dungeon Alchemist for all things mapping and VTT, Virtual Tabletop. And then, of course, a big thank you and shout out to D&D Beyond and Hero Forge for all things sort of character management, character creation, visuals, all those sorts of things. And then my DM's tools in the background, which are sort of Kassoon, 5e Magic Shop, 2-Minute Tools, and the Thieves Guild. And then the music, which you can hear just sort of nice and melancholy in the background there, is thanks to Tabletop Audio, and any sound effects you may or may not hear tonight are courtesy of BattleBards. We are still affiliated with BattleBards, which means if you've not used it already, there is still a chance for you to go and get yourselves a discount off some sound effects using the code Malt and Magic, which is just it's all coming through on screen now. That's all good. So you will see the code pop up on screen in just a second. Go use that code when you register, get yourself a nice cheeky discount. Cheesy discount? Probably is a cheesy discount by now. Off some sound effects for your own home games, virtual streams, whatever you're doing, and you need some sound effects for, go and use the Malt Magic code. What else is there to talk about? You can see the social media links on the bottom there. Please go and check them out. There are a few now, and I sort of posted a random update out onto Instagram earlier, just on my account. Totally forgot to post it on the main account, so my bad for that one. But yes, go check out the social media channels. Of course, if you want to catch any of the past episodes, you can go find them on our YouTube channel, or alternatively, you can go and check them out on our podcast, on any podcast, or most podcast platforms. And if you can, please leave us a rating or review on the podcast platform, because it just helps to grow and helps to spread the word, helps to move it up the lists, those sorts of things, of top D&D podcasts. I don't know where we are on those lists, to be honest. At some point, I should really figure that out. But yes, go check that out. And I think that's it. It's I can see some chat going on about the competition last week. Yes, JK, you were a competition winner, so congratulations. We will probably send you a whisper around that and what you've won and how we're going to get it to you. But yeah, congratulations. And congratulations to our other winners as well. So that's both pieces of artwork gone, and the special edition t-shirt also gone. And a massive shout out again to Merthyr to Stick for the amazing artwork, because it was fan-fucking-tastic. So I think the only other update about things is the one shot that we ran as part of the live stream. The YouTube video is coming. I'm just waiting for the theatre to sort that out, and as soon as that's available, we will make it available to yourselves as well, so you can all go and find out what happened and see where things have got to. But other than that, I think that's me. So we've got an interesting revelation to deal with following last week. So from that, thank you very much, JK. Amazing. Thank you so much. Subscribe before we've already started, but no, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. So yes, we've got to go deal with some revelations that were made last week in the interrogation of Theo Godden. But before we get into that, my usual warnings apply. There will be adult language and adult humour. You have been warned. Let's roll. Hello!
Hello!
How are we all doing?
Oh, yeah, good.
Good stuff. So yes, the other thing, of course, people will see immediately is we are a man down this evening. Samau is enjoying a well-earned holiday, although at this point, going by the social media feeds and what he's been sending back to the family, I don't think it's much of a relaxing holiday. Whatever shoes you've got, you're probably going to need another pair by the time you get back. But yes, enjoy the holiday. I know you're hovering around in the chat, mate, so we will see you when you get back. But yes, other than that, let's go down the lineup very quickly. I'm Matt, I'm the Dungeon Master, also playing the psychic character of Bothrid, our resident Hobgoblin Barbarian Druid.
And I am Danny, and I play King Ander of Esmir, the newly official, it's official now, because everybody's accepted it, I am the king. You're welcome.
There you go.
I'm Dave, I play Dargon, the Goliath fighter warlock, who I have to say, after last week, I wasn't really with it, so I haven't really got a clue what happened, but I'm sure that we're going to recover that.
Oh, am I also King of the Rogues and King of the Bards? Just, why not?
Well, they're part of your kingdom, I suppose.
I mean, technically, the bards is a whole different thing, but the rogues, or at least the thieves within Nylin, belong to a particular group, under a particular leader.
You might need to rectify that.
So yes.
Because it would be cool, when they go King Ander, first of his name, blah blah blah. If I could get like King Ander, bardic leader and rogue extraordinaire and all of that sort of bollocks, I need to work that into my name.
Well, I think so far we've got King Ander of Esmir, first of his name, Slayer of Green Dragons,
Fucker of Fairies.
I'm trying to think. Fucker of Fairies, that's another one. Extinguisher of Eladrin.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a few titles and honorary titles I'm sure you'll get. But yes, so speaking of last week, obviously there was a huge revelation towards the end. But the main premise of last week's episode was the interrogation of Theogodin himself, which, I'm not shitting you, took pretty much 3 and a bit hours to do. So it was a really interesting RP episode. I'm going to be totally honest. Last week, I had to do bugger all as a DM. Literally had to do a call in terms of dungeon mastery. It was all just place some NCPs. NCPs? That's Place You Go Park. NPCs. It's that kind of Monday. So yes, play some NPCs. But we did interrogate Theogodin and tried to understand, A, if he was responsible for the destruction of the Goliath village and the Goliath tribe, from where Dargon comes from, or Dargon hails, but also just understand what his motivations are and what's driving him, and is he going to stick with the party, is he going to stick to his task, and then the conversation turned to what do we do next, and where is the 4th primordial being that was released, or at least under somebody's control. It wasn't under Theogodin's control. Where did it go? Is it back with Asmodeus? Is it with somebody else? So we kind of figured that out, and Theogodin sort of explained that it would have gone to whoever controlled it in the first place, which is Asmodeus, and potentially given out to somebody else. And you then decided, okay, where do we go next? We're going to have to take this fight to someone at some point. In fact, the big bit I'm missing, of course, is Nylin itself, and the revelations around Asmodeus being potentially weaker if Nylin is restored to its former glory in the land it originally was broken out from. So you've got a decision to make there as to whether you do it, how you do it, and then, of course, the question of if we're heading that way, where do we go? Which way do we go? And conversation fell to Deluin, being sort of the last remaining city, arguably, en route that you've, or that has either not fallen or there is no clear alliance with right now. To which Theogodin quite nonchalantly said, Erendril's dead. I killed him. So that was the big revelation last week, that Erendril himself is not Erendril. It is an imposter of some sorts. Simao then chose that moment to do some scrying, or Kirik chose that moment to do some scrying, and failed initially, but through the rather forceful touch of the Raven Queen and a very good divine intervention roll, a lot was revealed. So Simao figured out where the primordial being was, having seen sort of a major image version of the primordial being, understood a little bit around what's waiting in Deluin, and that's kind of then where we left it. We went a little bit over time last week as a result of that, but it was so good from an RP perspective. So we kind of begin this week immediately following that. You've said Theogodin is to remain in the Temple of the Raven Queen for now, until required. Nathan said he's quite happy to stay behind and sort of work with Theogodin and be in the temple more than anything else, because nobody knows where Thalania and a couple of the others are right now. And so yes, you've got to make decisions now as to where you go. So I'm going to say at this point, Wardens, you've sort of just exited the temple, having sort of closed the doors, left Theogodin in there. What would we like to do?
Could I first, outside of the game, could you just recap what our characters know about the saving? No, not the saving of Nylin, but yeah, that kind of what we understand is of can we return Nylin or can we destroy it, and do we know which option that does yet?
So can you restore it?
Yeah.
Can you destroy Nylin?
Because we didn't know whether releasing the sources would destroy Nylin or return it to the material realm. I'm guessing we still don't know that answer.
Oh, yeah, you have... I mean, there's probably some information that you potentially have as characters that you could use to figure it out, but totally out of character right now, you've not figured it out.
Cool. So we have released... Well, okay. Okay, so running through that then, if we've just left, Dargan will turn to Kirik and Ander and be like, so if we've got 3 of the sources and the 4th one is likely in control, i.e. has also been freed, Nylin hasn't fallen, hasn't been destroyed, and hasn't been returned. So simply holding the sources clearly hasn't had an effect that we were expecting, i.e. the destruction or return of Nylin. So if we've planned or thought about either of those options and which scenario is brought about by doing what, we don't know that, but we have ruled out one thing. All of them are released. Nothing has happened.
Could you say, though, it's released, but it's not free? So we freed the other ones, and they gave us the gift of their power in return. The other one is still a prisoner of Asmodeus in a way. So if it's not free necessarily, it's still bound here by Asmodeus. So if we freed it from his grasp, would it then technically be free? If you follow my thinking.
Yeah, you've got that. We've released the chains that hold it here, and now it's free floating. Similar to probably what you just said. We've released it, but now it needs a push in one way or the other. Or Asmodeus holding it is not free.
Kind of like the genie from Aladdin.
Yeah, third option. no one does hold it, and no one is holding the fourth. It is actually now re-locked because Theogodon died. So the other option is no one is currently holding that one.
Kirik will chime up at this point and say, no, when the Raven Queen showed me, whoever's holding Deluin controls that source.
Yes, of course. I was revelling at that moment. Okay, yes, so they are all free.
Or controlled. You have one, Ander has one, I have one. Whoever's in Deluin has one.
Okay, so we are saying that they are controlled. We need to free them.
It could be that once we free the one from whoever it is pretending to be Erendriel, and we can get that into Bothrid, it might be that we then need to release them from us and sacrifice them so we don't have them anymore. And merge them together.
Make me history checks, please.
I did not mean to do that. I did not roll a natural one. I just opened my dice box.
Foreshadowing there.
Yeah, I just opened my dice box and managed to hit the button. That was very impressive. I was like, what is going on?
I will roll for Kirik.
7.
In fact, let's use a different dice for Kirik. What matches Kirik?
When Matt says let's roll a history trick, what he means is you're missing something in your notes that's blindingly obvious.
History. Yes,
Kirik, but that's why he's
a 22.
Well, I should not be rolling as high as that, but let's just see what it is for giggles and shits. That's a 10.
Dargon remembers as much as Dave does.
Yeah.
What did you get under?
17.
17. So between yourself and Kirik, who is obviously a sage anyway, so remembers all this information that's just squirreled away in either a book or his brain somewhere, both of you begin to think back to the way it's been described Nylin was trapped in the first place. And you remember the story of Timiel bringing down one of the Brother Kings, the last of the Brother Kings, your ancestor, Ander. And it is said that in itself caused the great chasm to the west. It is also said that in that moment, the gods granted him a choice, a final wish. And he made a wish to remove Nylin from the world to prevent anybody getting access to the power here. And it is his soul that then powered the wish. So that bit of information comes back to Ander and Kirik. I suppose I should have rolled for Bothrid as well, really.
Oh, hang
Two on
about.
the dice for Bothrid.
Thinking about it, the sources that we're collecting destabilise the magic of Nylin, or what holds Nylin here. But it was a great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather's wish and soul. It's just come back to me miraculously. That binds Nylin to this place. So we have to break that wish/curse to return it. So we either collect all 4 sources and use those powers to free the soul, or if it's connected to the soul, maybe Kirik needs to go in death to find his soul. That was millennia ago, right? Well, not millennia ago, that's a bit too far. He's going to be if there's anything beyond the 9th gate, he's going to be there, isn't he?
If he was beyond the 9th, he'd be dead. Like, dead.
So how do you free a soul?
Well, we have to break that wish, basically, as far as I
So
understand.
the question becomes, how do we break a wish.
With another wish? That's a powerful. I don't know. I mean, is the power of the wish in the power of all 4 primordial sources? At which point we come back to they need to be freed. Or no, the wish in act of working was to bind Nylin to 4 primordial sources. Either way, comes down to the same thing. Like we've said, free him, and Nylin again goes one way or the other. But if it's broken, then hopefully it just Nylin presumably wants to be back home.
Make me an intelligence check, please, Dargon.
I feel like we're missing something obvious.
Yeah, it's a 7.
We think we need to free the sources, but you're right. It's not going to magically happen. It's not just going to happen once we've freed it.
Okay. With a 7, yeah, you're not sure you fully understand this situation or what needs to be done. I'd say you are clutching at straws right now.
As someone who has successfully made a wish, would I know how to break one?
Make me an Arcana check, please.
Although I got it via luck. More than judgment. 27. Fine above me average.
You
there.
understand the power of a wish and how it's not an easy thing to overcome, so to speak. It is arguably the strongest power or spell that could really ever be cast by a mortal. In terms of breaking it, it's not something you've ever tried to do or really tried to understand. But there's nothing to say, given what's already been said by Dargon. You reckon another wish could potentially undo a previously cast wish?
Sorry, out of context, if you remember, you were potentially going to use a wish to just say, get Nylin back.
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
I love it.
Kirik, if it's bound to his soul and he's been dead for that long, is there any way to get that soul back? Or is it too far gone?
To resurrect him?
Not necessarily. Just to speak to him, maybe, to ask him how we unbind it from his soul, if he knows.
If I suppose another question, if his soul is bound, can it go past the 9th gate, or is it stuck somewhere?
Yeah. Do you need to put his soul to rest?
To go beyond the 9th, you die, like properly die, and then you are hers. She decides what happens to you then. Unless another's already claimed your soul. So like the Godin went to hell, but was brought back.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, so if his soul was technically owned by Nylin, if we think of it that way, where would his soul go? It's good that Matt's playing Kirik because he'll actually know the answers to this.
Well, I'm rolling to see if Kirik does know the answers to these. So that's an intelligence check. So that was a straight 10.
What? I just found a Constitution. I've got heartburn. I cast Rennie.
I think we need to just figure out where the soul is. I can go into death and look. But I think something that important is not going to be easy to find.
No. Well, let's get the soul back. Let's get the source back first. If we then can't figure out what to do after we've got that, we might need to then go down that rabbit hole a bit further.
Do we all agree? Yeah, do we all agree getting this fourth one out of the control of his lackeys is not going to cause the ground to crumble from beneath us? Therefore, as you say, we have time to think about this.
Yeah. I don't think it will start off a chain of events because they always told us we had the choice of it could free or destroy. So I don't think it will.
Yeah, nothing big's happened when you all took them, did it?
I mean, big stuff did happen. Each one did have a ripple of magic through Nylin, but nothing catastrophe has happened.
It's funny that. And quick wisdom check for Bothrid, which is actually going to be pretty good. Yeah, 16 will do it. Anyone ever noticed that the old strangey storms don't happen anymore?
Targon immediately looks up like, well, shit.
Oh yeah. We haven't had like a wild magic event for a very long time. Thinking about it. So maybe we are weakening the power here.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe we just need to claim it all for our own.
Yeah, let's try that. Fine. So, Kirik. Did Theogodon tell us where he killed the king, whatever his name is?
No, we didn't ask that. Does it?
If he killed him in his sleep in his castle, though, is it his body, or is the person just creating an illusion to appear as them?
Again, my question, like I said last week, can we not use that to get us in there, or are we saying not possible, not happening? Are we trying to get there via standard means?
No, I think now Kirik has seen that more than Erendriel is an imposter. Some of his guard are imposter too. You can't take any chance. I think we're gonna have to.
And I have to know where the person died. If we wanted to go through death, I have to know where they died, not just find them. I have to actually know the location.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask Theogodon, where did he kill him? Because then we know. But by the looks of it, we don't want to risk taking too many people through death, probably quite far through death. So let's think of other solutions. Yeah? Let's come up with other ones.
Do we have an army? Can we march on Deluin?
We can.
Okay, so yes. That's one idea. We have an army and we send them out. We could potentially deplete Deluin's forces, but are we really up against everyone in Deluin, or just the leaders? Can we do this covertly?
I think we promised Lena we would dethrone her father. I think we need to tell her the truth about her father, and that is not her father after all. She and the troops and the rangers of Ferdwin, River's End, might then want to help us take back Deluin, because she wants to take the Twin Cities for herself anyway. So her forces might be the best bet. And I suppose what you could do is you could go in there with a view of, we're freeing this place, Lena's going to rule it. If you honour her rule, take a knee, and that'll weed out maybe the humans from the devils, because whoever takes the knee has free will. Whoever doesn't take the knee, enemies, and they're going to die anyway, regardless of whether they're human or devils.
Yeah. So maybe we set an army on the outside that draws out the forces. We find a way of being able to tell the whole city that, they're under imitation rule. Like you say, we're here to take control peacefully. Anyone who stands in our way, though, they're fair game.
You will die, yeah.
And we do all of that whilst we and a select team are going around the other side of the city. All the forces are drawn out of the way, and we try and get in.
Yeah, we could do. Unless Lena needs my mass persuasive technique. Imagine doing a persuasion tech on a crowd of people. Like hundreds and hundreds of people. But yeah.
Well, that was my other thing. Like, you being able to speak to the whole city or someone, but yes, you would certainly benefit. We don't want this to be a whisper campaign. We don't have time for a whisper campaign, is what I mean. So we need this to be quick.
When we
and
say,
you're like standing there, just shouting to the whole city, magically magnified or something. I don't know.
I think it'd be the gravitas if me and Lena are there, denouncing his leadership, etc., and then sneaking people around the backside. From memory, how would we get in from the back? And then if we're sneaking in from the back, depending on which way we come, that is the way facing the Black Sea. I just don't know whether.
Okay, so
full frontal.
if shall we see if anyone has a map or has understanding enough to draw a map for us? They can meet.
Lena would know.
Then they can meet us in your throne room. Let's discuss it. Let's look at it, because if my memory serves, to the northeast will be where we came from, similar, and we can have an army come from there. We come from almost possibly from the sea, so from the south. So we avoid the northwest. They come from northeast, and we come from the south. Everyone's drawn forwards. We come up the south into the centre of the city.
Should we gather Lena and her her ranger? I've forgotten her name. Who's Lena's missus? Thank you, Buffers. Yeah, and then we'll talk tactics and also give her the truth about.
That's a good idea. Do you want to go and find out if in your throne room, if you've got a section to the side that is like a war table, something like that? I'll happily go find Lena.
I really like the idea of hitting Deluin by sea, because from Loch Essamere you can go down River Essamere to River's End, hence the name, and then there is, just thinking of the map you've got, Dargon, of Nylon, there is like a little entry point of water, but then that's still northwest of Deluin. We could come round the back and hit it from the left. Well, that was going to be my next question. I know I've said Captain Swift to start assembling a fleet, but I doubt we've got a dinghy at this point. Unless...
If you want army to hit Deluin, that would be travelling different route.
Be what?
They would have to go a different... They cannot swim all the way.
Who can't swim?
The army.
Lost me. Oh, the army. Yeah, I mean, the boat attack would be a select few people coming in from the side, wouldn't it? Assassin style.
Yeah, it would be. The other... I suppose the other question is, how the hell do we get him off this city?
Yeah, I think we're a bit premature for sea vessels, aren't we?
Not even that.
And all of the places that would have had them left over, like River's End and stuff, they'll have all been destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult enough getting to Telma without having a force. Well, I suppose if we can get if we can get the mages to open up a portal to that place in Telma, then we can do that, and then, well, we've got a 1 or 2 day trek.
Hang about, are we being stupid? No, we're not being stupid. We've got those 3 gateways in town, in the city. We've got the one to the Feywild, the one to Shiverspire, is it? And then we've got one to the Black City itself, haven't we?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to use when we actually go full frontal against Asmodeus, isn't it? That's our backdoor in.
Ours, but again,
That doesn't help us with Deluin, does it?
Yeah, well, no, but I've just thought if we try the big army and sneaky way in the back, that won't work again. So we can't do that on the Black City. Although, I suppose this is a slightly different solution. We're literally trying to sneak in the back, not by magical means use a teleportation to pop into the centre of the Black City. So I suppose, to a degree, they are different.
Yeah, if we want to get off the lake, we could go via Feywild, via that portal we've got in the city. And then that'll get us close, but then we've still got to cross River Estimir and get across. Unless we could still go along the shoreline at least.
That bridge is awfully close to River's End, and if you recall, was under major control and, or if I understand correctly, blown to smithereens. But I could be wrong on that one.
Actually, what we'll do,
Let's just get Luna.
We'll get the new Mage of the Court involved, and he'll teleport us to wherever we need to go.
If you can, as I say, Telma may be the best option, because then at least they can assemble. They can assemble half a day out from Deluin, rest up safely to a degree, and then head out to Deluin.
Yeah. Right, we'll go to the throne room. Othrid, would you mind going to gather Lena and the mage?
I'll go get Lena. How about Bothrid goes to find the mage, and we'll all meet you back in the throne room.
Oh,
Deal.
Which mage do we mean?
Our new one. I'm saying the mage because I've forgotten his name.
Mage of the Court.
Yep.
Oh, that one. The one who was with Ethereal.
Yeah.
Dobby. That's not his name.
Dobby. I thought his name was Demon, personally.
That's the one. I was right with the D.
Kirik's going to chime up and say, Deimos.
Thank you. Yes. Oh boy. Kirik's like an elephant.
So you all just bomb burst out. Ander heads back to the throne room. Dargon, in fact, Ander and Kirik head back to the throne room. Dargon, you go and try and find wherever the hell Lena is. And Bothrid goes off to find Deimos, the court mage. So you all sort of head roughly in the same direction. Dargon, where would you like to go and try and find Lena?
Probably in the Feywild Embassy, thinking that she's probably got some sort of connection to that. At the very least, spent a bit of time with them.
So you pot on over to go to the Feywild Embassy, and instead of sort of heading north up towards the keep, you head straight across to those 3 big embassy buildings. The Feywild Embassy door is closed currently.
Can I push it open?
You can. And as you push it open, I need a charisma saving throw, please.
Hey! This can only go badly. 14.
14. As you open the door, there is this strange and enchanting music It sort of just plays all around, and as you look around you can see that the embassy itself has begun to grow and blossom with that connection to the Feywild now open. And you can see like what looks like butterflies just sort of floating around. And as you start to wander in, you just feel drawn towards that gate, if you like, that veil into the Feywild. And you sort of wander forward, continue on wandering forward. And just before you get to the gate itself, there is a hand that sort of places itself against your chest and pushes quite hard against your chest. Don't think you really want to do that now, do you, my Goliath friend?
Wait, what? Hey? Who do I see?
Strangely enough, you see somebody you've not seen since Moonbright. A blonde-haired, pink-eyed, female, elven-type creature. The last time you saw her, she was working in a little shop.
The Enchantress, if I remember her name right?
Absolutely right. You also notice there is now a crown of thorns on her head.
What? Still on my move.
My lady, yeah. Thank you for that. What was that?
Mine and my kin. There's a reason the doors were shut. Too many people wandering where they ought not to wander.
Yeah, my apologies. I suppose that's probably why I kind of came here. I was looking for Lady Lena and thinking she might be here.
Lena and the Rangers. They were here for a brief conversation with mine and my own, but from what I could tell, they have taken residence in one of the buildings to the east of the city.
Oh, thank you. That's new. Pointing at the ground.
Yes, it was time for me to go home. And, well, I was welcomed, which was one thing.
Well, you don't say that Moonbright wasn't your home.
I think I told you that once.
Yeah, wasn't really, well, glad you were welcomed home anyway. You didn't leave on estranged reasons, did you?
Would one call them strange? Maybe strange to yourselves, but my husband was certainly happy I was back anyway.
Oh, well, like that, is it?
Something like that. Anyway, Dargon, it's time for you to go. Else do you wander?
Yeah, there's that door, right?
And she sort of turns you around and steps in front of you once again, leading you away. And as she sort of gently pulls on your arm, you notice on a small patch on this sort of half-shoulder cape, very similar to yours actually, there is this woven symbol, but I say woven, it looks like it's made out of vines and plants and flowers. And what you see is what looks like this motif of an autumn leaf, an oak leaf, that is surrounded by these sort of golden threads, and straight down the middle is this wooden type wand that looks like it's tipped with a diamond of sorts. And as she then gets you to the door, she opens it and just, with a strength that is a bit bizarre, just sort of swings you out of the door and turns you to face her once more. Try not to wander.
Maybe a sign on the door. Maybe. My lady.
We'll keep it closed.
I shall look to the east and see if I can see many inhabited buildings.
So what you have to wander a little bit north, and you. In fact, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Another one. 7.
That whole encounter, you forget.
Brilliant.
You bastard.
You find yourself stood outside the Fey Embassy, looking sort of towards the north, thinking, got a very strange feeling of deja vu.
Do I know that I think I need to go back in, or that I have an inkling that this is not the right place to be looking?
You have an inkling that you need to head east.
Well, I
But
might as
you're
well
not
cross
sure
some
why.
notes out because I'm never going to get told there, am I?
Still worth having the notes there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I choose to therefore head east, thinking trying to see if there's any clusters of people. That's what's going to draw me, because the doors were closed.
And I think, as I said to you a couple of weeks ago, there's been quite a lot of activity, and there's been like sort of wooden scaffolding and bits put up, and some of the buildings have started to be reconstructed and rebuilt. And you do notice that there is what was once a stately home of sorts. Again, it's got wooden scaffolding around it, but there is also now a banner that hangs outside, which is the banner of Deluin of River's End. And if I can very quickly pull that up, I will describe it to everyone. Because they are all around somewhere. So yes, you see this bluish cloth that's been hung to the side of the door, and there is an actual sort of symbol of a river, but it bisects this starred circle, if you're right, which looks like a spell circle. So yes, I suppose I could. Is that going to work? That? Bear with, folks. Doing things in the background. So yes, that may or may not come up in a second. We are working on that background, just so everybody knows what we're talking about. And you do see the rangers in their red leather-like armor wandering around, and the sort of the survivors of River's End, if you like. Sorry, it's only Micaiah that's got red armor. So, sorry, you do see these, and in fact I'm looking at the wrong... Oh, let's get my notes sorted tonight, shall we?
Is one
There we go, there's a fair
shield.
anyway.
One banner.
There we go. So you see the defenders of Deluin, as they are called, these elven folks with bright green eyes, and they have sort of these green, not tattoos, but markings on their face, sort of these lines that come immediately down from the eyes, 2 spots on the head, and a line that comes down from the chin and down to the neck, and they wear this green armour and these green capes, and they all carry bows and short swords, most of them. And then in the middle you do see one that has this red flash to their armour, if you like, as you spot Micaiah with the claw marks, the claw scars across her face as well. standing there in the middle, chatting to a few defenders.
What's her name again?
Micaiah.
Micaiah. I'll walk up to Micaiah. Oh, Micaiah. Good to see you looking like you're settling in.
And she sort of looks up and turns to you, that sort of brunette hair that flows down, and her eyes are this yellowish colour. You can see the claw marks and the same green markings that are across her face. Well, Dargon, we need somewhere to stay, at least until your king gives us back our city. Our king now, I guess.
Well, it's kind of what we're here to discuss. You and Lena wouldn't be free to come and have a chat with us in the king's room, could you?
Pertaining to
Deluin.
I will get Lena straight away.
Thank you. I shall
She
wait.
disappears into this stately home. And so a couple of the defenders sort of stand outside, fold their arms across and sort of look at you suspiciously. But then Micaiah exits with Lena, sort of arm in arm. And Lena looks as stunning as ever. Her sort of blondish, brownish hair, that tanned skin, and the white markings on her face. This simple metallic diadem, I suppose, if you like. And then the white robes that she wears, the gold chain at her waist, the heeled boots that come up and over her knee, and this white cloak behind her. And around her neck is this jewelled choker. And she steps forward and sort of gently bows her head. Good to see you, Dargon.
As they both, come back out, I do give them a modest and decent bow to both of them. Lena, you look well.
Well, my good lady here tells me that you are wanting to discuss my father's throne.
Very much so. We've gathered more information and we want to give it to you and make some plans. But of course, and you can understand, we would like to make them in some sort of privacy. Would you care to join us in the throne room?
By all means, lead on.
Follow me.
And Lena and Micaiah sort of walk. Micaiah turns to a couple of the defenders and speaks in Elvish, and sort of speaks to them in Elvish, relays some commands, and continues on following you. As you all then weave round and head north up to where the keep is, or I suppose not north now, head directly west over to where the keep itself is. Bothrid at this point has been just wandering around the city. Deimos! Deimos! And one of the mages of Idril turns around and goes, Deimos is the king's mage? Try the keep. No point shouting his name, you're not getting a response, are you? Bothrid's just going to look and go, oh yeah, I suppose that would make sense. Thank you. That way. Okay. And Ander, as you do enter into the keep, you find Annabelle, Deimos, and Remley all in conversation. Hushed conversation. And sort of as the door opened, you approach. All three of them turn and drop to a knee.
Oh, it's always awkward when you walk into a room and people are talking about you.
We weren't talking about you, boy. Talking about this place. Needs more
No.
regal colour, if you ask me.
Purple?
I was just thinking, well, is it purple You tell me. What's your royal colours, boy?
Well, I know I'm head to toe in black, but I am fond of the old purple. But I suppose does my family crest have a colour? Actually, I've only ever seen it as
You've never
as an image.
described it of having. Yeah, you've never described
No,
it as having.
it was always just an image I remembered. You know, like when you remember an image is just in a white space. That's literally the only recollection I have of it. So I suppose we can make it whatever colour. Actually, I'll ask somebody. One moment, and I'll go into my head and I'll ask Shank what colour my family crest was, if he remembers from back in the day.
Oh shit! Sorry, you're talking to me. Yes.
It's me just going in my head. An absolute lunatic.
Well,
I don't suppose.
do go on, boy. You sorry, not boy.
Yes,
my lord, king, sir.
Yeah, it's hard for people to get used to that. They seem to get it right first time, and I'm not used to it myself. I don't suppose you remember the colours of my family crest, do you? I've only got a picture of it, but not its colours.
Well, well, I don't really see colours, boy.
Magic.
Yes, I am.
Phil. Yeah. Okay. You go back to sleep. I'll wake you up when I want to stab someone.
That's Nylin.
Yeah. Yes, for Nylin.
We say the
Thank
same
you.
to Bothrid. We'll wake you up when we want to stab someone.
I'll quite enjoy stabbing.
Right. So, considering we don't know the colours, the only other person that might know is Gindris. So let's just, for now, decorate it however we want. I like purples. I like turquoise. I like teals. I like blues. Go mad.
Well, you have a choice, really. It's a new line. This is Annabelle speaking.
True.
So you can choose as you see fit. I'm quite fond of purple anyway, to be honest. She sort of points to a dress where she is wearing a purple dress.
Yeah.
I
maybe
picked a rather apt backdrop colour tonight.
Yeah. Maybe we still try and keep that roguish nature, though.
Oh yeah, purples and blacks, 100%.
I think we can work with that.
Sort of like a romantic gothic vibe. I like it.
Fucking hell, you lot are really, really cheerful, aren't you?
Well, I don't want to get nicknamed the Emo King, to be honest. Well, I'm dressing like My Chemical Romance. I don't want to do that. But actually, Deimos, I'm glad you're here.
Exactly what he's on about. Aye, me?
Yes, I actually wouldn't mind all of you in the throne room. We've got some tactics and business to discuss.
I'd like to say that we come back around this point. Or after this point. We're not here yet.
Dargon's walking. Dargon still has a semi-confused look on his face. But Lena and Micaiah follow in, and Bothrid does sort of trundle in. Deimos, I need you to speak to...
Too late, Bothrid. Yeah. A for effort there, mate.
Nobody told me he was here.
Well... Actually, Annabelle, any news on Grelin? Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent.
I actually asked Callum to go see if he knew where he was or could find him. I have yet to hear from Callum, so I'm sure as soon as I know, I'll let you know.
To be confirmed. Okay, right now we're all here. Follow me. And I'll lead people off
There you go.
to the throne room.
To the throne room. So bearing in mind as you enter this keep,
Is the
you
king
pretty much
supposed to
enter the
lead?
throne room.
I
It's
don't
this
know.
long
Does he walk first or
hallway.
last?
Everybody just lets you lead at this point. They're kind of like, King's made a decision. And off you go. So you see the throne ahead of you. Are you going to the throne, or are you going to go to the sort of the makeshift war room that's a little bit behind it?
Yeah, good call. Dagon did say that. I'll go to the war room.
Okay, so you go round and sort of to the war room, where you do see there's these big curtains that have been drawn up now, so that should you ever hold court again, they can just draw the curtains and nobody sees the war room. It's literally just that's the back of the throne room, so to speak. Also gives you a place of privacy to enter and exit as you see fit. The map is laid out same as before. Yeah, pretty much. All of the cities have got like these black wooden crosses against them, apart from Deluin, Eticus, Ardbeurig, and the Black City. And Esamir, of course.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming on relatively short notice. I have some pertinent information that I think is, well, it's especially relevant to you, Lena. And it then also pertains to what we're going to do about Deluin. To then use that as our potential staging post for our attack on the Black City. What I do have to say, Lena, it's quite a sensitive matter, and what I have to tell you may be a surprise. So let's sit down.
Deimos is just gonna, and chairs just
Nice.
all slide under the table next to you.
I hope there's one
Like
extra
Beauty and the
large
Beast.
one for me.
I can't hope it's like
Well,
Beauty and the Beast,
I'm going to
Electric
say a
Crockery
small
comes
stool
out.
sort of pushes up next to Dargon, and then Deimos goes, fucking hell. And then pulls a bigger like bench over. Fucking sit on that, that'll do for now.
I was going to say, in an alternate world, Dargon goes, "What's that for my testicles?"
Why is there a butt plug on the floor? Yeah, so
So we all sit.
yeah. So, well, the first piece of information I need to give you is we have resurrected an old enemy of ours. But don't worry, he is on our side. He is now bent to our will by the good Raven Queen, and he has given us precious intel that we can use against Asmodeus.
Who the fuck have you resurrected now?
Theo Godden. Have any of these people met Theo Godden?
Remley is going to sit there and go,
Oh, I didn't see that fucking coming.
Lena and Micaiah are just going to be a bit like, Theo.
Long story short, he was a minion of Asmodeus,
Did
going around doing biddings.
Did you maybe know him as the Dark Haladrin?
Micaiah is going to chime up then. That rings more of a bell.
Yes.
In fact, I knew or had heard stories of a Theo Godden from Phaliad.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
I killed him a while
chose to
back.
resurrect. So you killed him and then
Yeah.
brought him back?
Yeah, the reason being, we figured out that that Asmodeus was his patron and got power from him, and by defeating him, we released a power back to Asmodeus that we need. But tangentially to that, he gave us a piece of information about Deluin, which is quite pivotal. Now, what he has told us is, Lena, I know you don't like your father currently. He told us that your father has been dead for a long time, as he killed him himself. So what we know is your father in Deluin is actually an imposter, which might explain why we haven't received any help from them in your hour of need. I'm just going to let that sit there for a bit before I carry on speaking.
How long ago?
Well, before he didn't help us at the siege, and before we visited him the first time, so it has been months and months.
I think we actually told us a specific time by Theo Godden, because he also asked us how long he'd been dead.
Was anything said about my brother?
Yes, your brother unfortunately died at the hands of a thief. Apparently it was an accident, but they were trying to steal an artifact together. And he died.
It seems that
Actually, I don't know.
the change from Deluin in wanting to give you aid and around the time of your brother's demise was a very similar time to
Actually,
when unfortunately the king was killed.
The king has been dead for years because Theo killed him as his first task for Asmodeus and then was supposed to kill me, but he decided to spare me and try and turn me into his own weapon, at which point obviously I turned on him and killed him, so it's actually been, if I remember rightly, years.
That's the other way around. You were the first task he failed.
Fuck.
You then didn't want to fail with. Didn't want to fail with.
Cock and
Theo.
balls.
This was all last week, so it's fine. So yeah, Theo Godden basically said that he was tasked to kill you, didn't, tried to turn you into a weapon, failed at that, was punished, was then tasked with killing Arendriel, chose not to disobey at that point, killed Arendriel. Lena will just sort of sit there and this Theo Godden is now on our side. Are you absolutely certain of that?
Oh, we have tested that because he can't even think about betraying us. The Raven Queen
Kirik
won't
will
let
chime
him.
up at this point. Kirik will chime up and just say, she has him now. And just sort of motions to the shield. And Lena will sort of... Well, on her head be it then, I guess.
I would also like to point out here that you can be as sceptical as you like about him, and quite frankly, you'll join the club. And if you ever see him do anything that is against our judgment, feel free to separate his head from his shoulders, and none of us will stop you.
The Raven Queen might,
the
but
answer to this is beyond now. I could blame others, but there is one puppet master.
We're sorry that we couldn't give you your father, but I think that the impersonator still has your blade to look forward to.
yeah, and I know.
If anything, it just... It explains why he turned so suddenly and was not who he was. And for that I'm grateful, because it means he was not... Or he did not become an arsehole just because my brother died, but actually... Asmodeus did away with the heirs.
Well, they tried. You're still here.
Which brings me on to our next topic. We need to secure Deluin. We need to remove these imposters from Deluin. We want to march on it with you, if you want to, and your rangers. What we're thinking we can do is, if we march on the city with you, I can denounce the imposter, announce you as the leader of the Twin Cities under my kingdom, and then what we're thinking is any humans left who are not under deal influence and are just going along thinking it is the real leader of Deluin, if we get them to swear fealty to you, drop the knee, fealty to you and me, drop the knee, they'll be spared. Anybody who doesn't do that is either a devil in disguise or has been turned, at which point they all die. That's the only way I can think to spare people who want and deserve to be spared, and kill the rest. To give you back both of your cities.
Who is masquerading as my father now?
a devil in disguise wielding the force of primordial flame.
DM, is it Bell? I can't remember. I was so tired last
We
week.
don't know that one yet.
You'd not confirmed or denied. Yeah, sorry, you'd not proved or disproved whether it was Bell or not. Really, you couldn't really tell. The description that I gave to you last week of who was sat on, or the silhouette that Kirik saw, was as follows.
And they're devils, not demons? Or the other way around?
Yeah, devils
They
can
are
do
devils.
it. Devils can do it. Demons.
So it was
In other
this
news,
figure sat with
Worst
a sort of. I don't think I talked about the tail last week, but there is a the silhouette was of a tail off of the throne that they sit on. Much more of a muscular form, a larger form than Erendil themselves. These two great wings that are behind them, these two horns that come up from the head, and a face, even in the silhouette, that's sort of twisted into this smile. And where Erendil in the scrying had sort of this staff, the devil was holding the hilt of this blade, which sort of writhed, if you like.
We currently don't know the exact creature, but we know it is a devil. Possibly one of the acolytes of Asmodeus. One of his main followers. We don't exactly know who, but we do know that it has control of one of the powers, the last power that we seek.
Well, then that's the head that I shall take.
Speaking a few battle tactics then, for a moment. We want as bloodless a coup as possible, but with this will not be bloodless. I can guarantee it. We want to save as many people in Deluin who are the normal members of the city, even the soldiers. Those who are hoodwinked. Maybe even those who know something's up. So, our proposition, starts here and can be evolved. If we get an army, as many of us as we have here and those besides, outside, and we get them to march on Deluin, draw out the forces up against an army, and a small group of us go in from the south, get through, hopefully with no one trying to get in our way, get to where the imposter is, and we believe he has some additional devils with him, and we take him out. But we would like some way, Ander, this could be where you come in, to be able to try and persuade the masses that we're here to help them, and to renounce the current leadership. Any suggestions, because you know Deluin and the people better, as to whether we need any of those sections?
Well, I suppose it's really going to depend on where you plan to hit Deluin from. The port, the docks, if you like, they're protected by great stone walls that jut out into the ocean itself. You've got the two main roads into Deluin, to the northwest and the east. They are both heavily guarded. But we could attack one or both of those, and that may pull forces away from the wall that surrounds the keep to the northeast. The keep isn't in the centre of the city. It's almost, well, it was added on after the fact. It was built to the northeast of the city. And Mackay is then going to sort of think, I had a map somewhere. Pulls out a number of sort of scrolls and goes, yes, here. And lays down a map of Deluin, or at least an artist's impression of Deluin. And so I will drop that into the signal chat so everybody's got access to it.
Ooh.
I don't think... Well, we haven't got any ships anyway, unless Charlie's done some amazing work. But if you want an army to attack, then the easiest, without having to try and sneak around the city, is going to be the Eastern Gate.
I mean, Kirik and Bothrid, we did walk under the lake. Can enough of us do that again and head in? Although I realise that's quite far from the intended area we want to go.
Well,
Deimos, is there any way you can... Go on, sorry.
I could make people walk underwater, but
Well, that's south, and Bothrid puts his sort of fingers on the markings of the actual piers themselves that jut out in the south.
we'd get to here and we have to get up the walls to get onto the shore, but then the keep's up
Here, and points to that topmost northeastern corner where the keep is.
Might be easy to scale the wall.
Yeah, so, do we all agree that an army would certainly diminish the forces of a small group having to get in, or do we just try and do this quietly? Do we have them in reserve over the hill or something?
I can place all of my defenders at your command for this.
Dargon's knowledge of what she's just talking about, does he know, are they rangers, general fighters, a mixture of all? What do we know?
They're kind of they are the majority from what you've seen in Ephedrine in River's End. You know, the majority of them are rangers and ranger types.
Yeah.
But you do notice they all carry short swords as well, so it might be that they've got mixed skills. You've not really fought against them enough to understand.
If we're thinking by sea is unachievable given its defences, it may be that we all have to go. Although we said we were going to scale the walls to the keep, didn't we? While they attract
There's
forces
one
to the
other
east
thing.
and
If we
entrance.
go by sea as well, we would have to try and get past my city, and that has fallen to,
True.
well, vampires. Who knows if there's devils there, and would we get past that without a skirmish? I don't know.
So it looks like our best idea then is attack the eastern gate while some of us try and sneak into the keep.
Deimos, you can't make an illusion of a ship coming from the south. I suppose that's difficult magic that size. Certainly far beyond anything
You're asking a fucking lot, you are.
I'm just asking
and I'm
any
making
questions.
Yeah, we also might need teleporting because we haven't got built a bridge off of Vesemir yet.
Oh, that we can probably deal with.
can I do a big fuck off image? I'd have to flip through my books.
Who cast Major Illusion the other week?
Major Image last week was cast by Theo Godin.
Oh. I'm not taking him.
Let's not take him.
No, I'm not taking him.
Deimos at this point is just sat sort of flicking through books.
I mean, I can't remember.
Spell book.
Dave can't remember how big Major Image is. I know is it something like 20-foot cube or something? I can't remember. I know it can be otherwise realistic, noises and all that jazz, but
I mean, Major Image is a 20-foot cube.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not going to be a ship, but I was wondering about.
There's a dinghy coming from the south.
I mean, 20 foot's still a decent size.
They'll just think it's further away than it is.
Can you make it look like a sea monster? I don't know.
Okay, so at least we're agreed on the plan of attack. And thank you for putting your men up for this. Remley, will you accompany us too?
If you think I'm fucking staying here, lads, you got nothing fucking coming.
That is the correct answer.
I will.
So,
I gotta watch your ass now, boy.
Oh, okay. Are you my personal bodyguard?
Don't put titles on it. Let's just... I was tasked by a higher power with what I need to do for you.
Okay.
And I don't particularly want to piss him off.
No, that's probably for the best. Yeah, okay.
If you get me
Right,
killed,
Deimos,
though, well... On your fucking head be it.
I've seen you fight.
won't
You'll
say
be getting yourself killed the way you charge in. There's nothing I can do about that.
So to clarify our position, are we trying to scale the walls into the northeastern keep?
I mean, we can all fly, I think, other than Bothrid. He can scale. Yeah, we can easily get over the walls.
Okay, so yeah, we can, but I mean, Lena, presumably you two are coming. Deimos, Remley, we want you to come. Can we all get in?
Should
Might
Deimos
it
stay
be
here?
better if I and Micaiah lead the defenders? I don't know what your plan is, Ander, but if you wish to make use of those defenders, then it might be better if I and Micaiah are with them, so that it appears as maybe we are trying to take the city by force from the sister city, so to speak.
Pretending it is still... You're none the wiser that it's ever come by devils.
Yes.
This subterfuge is very much something I like. This is good.
Deimos' fingers going to slam down on his book, though. Fuck it, got it. Not quite what you want. It's not quite what you want. Don't fuck around now. But, how about I turn the sea in like a mile wide into, I don't know, lava or something a bit crazy.
I like outside the
10
box
minutes.
thinking.
I can do it for a mile, but if that's where you want to go, or I could even do it outside the gate.
I mean, either
Big
that,
magic, mind you.
yeah, or well, I mean, I like all of these, but that one.
It also will last for about a week and a half. So swings and roundabouts.
Okay, what about?
It's just fucking lava. Brilliant. We can chuck people into it. That's punishment.
Oh no, it's just it's not real. It's just like illusion.
Oh, okay.
The other option is if you can make something slightly smaller, and that is like make it look like you've got a big, immense battering ram that is going to just smack down their door in a few seconds.
Could you even make an illusion of a dragon flying over the city to distract everyone up while Lena comes in and we go over?
Can do an illusory dragon. I just flicked that past that one. Quite literally, just flick past that one.
I mean, a lava distraction might not work.
It might hinder us as well.
Whereas a creature coming overhead, like if we make it look like Gingers
for a minute.
Yeah. I think that might be enough to give Lena a head start at least.
If that gets us in, that minute may be good. The other, as I say, anything like that, anything that is going to pull forces away from that keep.
Yeah.
I mean, if I create a dragon, it's going to be last minute. It's going to look like a young one because fucking hell, you find me a wizard powerful enough to cast that bigger image.
Ah, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Look, as long as it does its thing, which it will, then that's good. Yeah, I like the idea that we send in the army as though you're coming from River's End to take Deluin.
How close can we get via teleportation before we have to do the rest on foot, Demos?
Well, if it's Telmer, I can get you to Telmer. But other than that, it's the other cities. Like, I'm not going to teleport us straight into the middle of Deluin. We'll all get fucking slaughtered. But River's End can take us there. I think I know.
Telmer's good, I think. River's End is unfortunately besieged. Can we get an army there? How many mages will it take to get us all over there?
Oh fuck it, we'll just keep repeating it until we get them there.
Fine.
There's enough for us to do that.
Great. So we get us there, and then I think we go 2/3 of the way there, camp, and then we all head there. Are we all going in the main group of the army, or are we going to try in against sneaks around?
I think we'll stick together until we get to a certain point where they're on the eastern road, and then we'll diverge off. I think
we bank off, go north, and then come down, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm kind of obvious. Is there anything we can do about that?
I can put my cloak around you.
Yeah, it might be good. I don't want to take my armour off, and it's kind of conspicuous, and I can't turn it off. So, until we're right up against those walls.
Thinking of the new powers of this cloak, I think I could even cast darkness around you.
That's also kind of obvious, isn't it?
Well, there's a black hole walking towards.
Just a moving globe of dark.
Unless it's dark at the time.
Well, doing this at night is probably an exceedingly brilliant idea. But if you're able to make us invisible and/or help us to be sneakier, which is my way of asking, did you not have pass without a trace?
I've got pass without a trace, invisibility. I can make you invisible with my cloak, and I can cast invisibility with it.
Great. So at the very least, you need to make me invisible. Bothrid can be tiny. You and I can be invisible, and Kirit can
just walk.
Hopefully be.
Oh, I'm flying in. I'll just hang about and
do that.
When you're over, I'll just fly in.
I suppose you can also use your cloak to get in rapid from a distance. Yep. From a distance.
Using my loot, actually, I can cast invisibility with that, so I can turn quite a few people invisible.
You'll have to do that to him after has cast fly on himself. That's fine.
Why? Sorry, I'm not casting fly. I'm the Peggy.
He's got Peggy.
I knew that. I forgot it. Yeah. No, I didn't forget. It's fine.
What happened to you when you went to find Lena? Have you it's almost as if you're coming down from a charm confusion.
In fact, Ander, I'm going to ask you to make me a perception check with advantage, please.
Something with the door. It was something with the door.
Well, you walked into one? You had a blow to the head? Oh, a natural 20, my friend.
You would instantly recognise the effects of the Feywild and Fey creatures.
You've been charmed. Where did you? Have you been in the Fey Embassy?
Oh yeah, I said that's where I was going to go to find Lena, didn't I?
But then
no.
You think actually.
But no, I didn't go. I went east. Why did I go east? I went to a door.
I think you may have been, and you no longer remember.
Yeah, that's not possible. I clearly didn't.
Would you like to show me on this doll where they touched you?
Ander pulls out a strange doll that he's got hidden away. So
I've got that little wooden doll that I got back in 9. That's what I usually used to. Okay. Well,
right. Well, boys, you need to make a decision. Who's with you and who's in the army?
Okay, so us 4. Lena, Remley. Is Captain Swift going to be with the army? Lena and Micaiah and Deimos are going to be with the army. Captain Swift, if they want to come along, can be with the army.
I think if we're doing it under the illusion that Lena is doing it off her own back, it should only be Lena and her army attacking. Because if they see people amongst the mix that are not them, but are known allies of us, that might give up the ghost. So Lena, Micaiah and the defenders attacking the road, us 4, Remley and Deimos attacking the keep. Unless you need Deimos with you.
No, Deimos.
For the illusion thing.
Swap Deimos and Lena. Lena needs to come with us to actually do this, but Deimos, they don't know about him. He was dead.
I'm staying with the army. It's...
Yeah.
Well, if you'll forgive the statement, Ander, I am queen. I fight with my people.
Yep.
Sounds like you need the wizard to do some distraction, so maybe put them with us, but as for everybody else at this table, well, that's entirely up to you.
Yep, so leader and the defenders take the eastern gate. The Wardens plus Remley and Deimos.
You understand, Lena, that there's no particular chance that we'll capture this creature long enough for you to come in yourself, then?
I'm not bothered. It's not him that killed my father. Or it, rather, that killed my father. It's just an imposter. You do with that what you have to. What matters to me now is reclaiming the city, and then... Well, Asmodeus is the prize now.
That makes it much simpler. Stay with your army. I agree.
We've got a plan. Do you want to gather your forces, Lena, while Deimos prepares the teleportation circle?
Mackay's just going to look. I mean, all I've got to do is blow a horn. I'm not going to lie.
Oh.
So, are we not wanting to take anyone else in reserve off to one side behind a hill or anything? Are we literally just doing it with this? Are we trying to keep well, I suppose we need to keep everyone else for the bigger fight later. Yeah, is that what we're doing?
How many? Yeah. How many defenders?
Annabelle's going to chime up at this point and sort of turn around and say, I think, based on what you're saying, you need your small group to enter, and then... Well, it's Lena is the illusion, right? She's the
you are the
distraction.
distraction.
Else would...
Yeah, but there's still... I'm just saying,
there's
there's still going to be fights. Still going to be a fight. That's all.
I've got 200 defenders ready to go right now.
I don't suppose you know off the top of your head what the entry-level numbers of Deluin's forces were.
Probably
that's
10 times
easy,
greater
like
than
500 to 1,000.
But the point is, we are not intending to beat them all. We are intending to make this a coup. And this will be... So it's purely distraction, and therefore, just... Yeah, you can probably try and persuade as many of them there as possible while they come out to you. So while you're doing that, we're cutting off the head of the snake. And I will happily throw his head over that wall and to their forces to show them what they've been ruled by for the past couple of months.
Sounds to me then that we have a plan. Call your banners.
By order of the king. Let's do this.
It's about fucking time, right?
I need a conch shell
When
to
we
go.
leave it. Should we at least have a night and then head out in the morning?
Yeah, those who need to pick spells should do that.
Kirik's going to be there like...
Roger that. Just healing and
Damos will be like,
area of effect spells, please.
I'll fucking look through me book and pick the best ones, right? I'll get me dragons. That could be fun. I like that idea.
Am I correct that
Cool.
Kirik blew up his healing staff?
Wand.
I can't remember. I know he used
I
all...
can't remember.
Yeah, and so... Cause I knew,
is it lost?
Well, and yeah.
Yes, it turned to ash.
Yeah, he used all of the things, and it turned to ash.
Used all the charges, and it just went...
And there was obviously a chance to roll, and it copped it.
Yeah. Also, thinking about it, I have some items on my person that I never get to use because they require you to spend time with them, learn them, attune to their powers.
Yeah.
Do you think what I need to do, I need to give them to the forces, although essentially they're flame-tongued swords, so against devils and demons that's probably not going to do any damage. But I still think they need to be of use to someone. So, Lena,
I'll fucking
notice
take
your
flame-tongue sword, you bastard.
There we go. So what I'll do, I've got 2 flame-tongue long swords, and I've got a flame-tongue scimitar as well. So what I'll do, I'll give Remley the long sword, and I'll give the other 2 to Micaiah to do with as she wants.
Micaiah's actually going to look at the scimitar and sort of take hers out and places hers down and sheathes the new one. I'll take that one.
Boom. There we go.
Where is Mephisto? Do we have a clue?
That's a very good question.
He's lost.
Yeah. Cool.
You have no idea. Currently, you do not know the whereabouts. Well, you kind of know the whereabouts of the 4 Malt Masters.
Yes.
Original, OG Masters.
Yeah.
You have no idea where Thalania is, Grelin, Johannes, Mephisto. I think that's it. In terms of allies, because the Enchantress has made herself known now. Archdeacon of Cord, you don't know where they are.
Oh, I thought he was dead, but that was assumed, was it?
That was assumed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Literally doing a Rolodex of NPCs in my head right now.
Yeah. My only thought was that anyone in this current city that we would be able to trade goods with. That was all. But I don't think we know anyone. I don't really know what I'd get. Probably some healing potions.
Right, so we're resting. I'll allow these buggers to pick their spells and then. Well,
yeah, Lena and
leave in the
Micaiah, if you want to collect your forces, tell them that we're going, what we're doing, and of course, if they need anything, any supplies, I hope that they have the time to be able to collect them.
Very well. Well, by your leave, my king.
See you in the morning.
And Lena's just going to. Indeed. Let's go take my city back. Your city.
It's long overdue. Our city.
And Lena, Micaiah stand. Remley stands, not that people can tell. Sort of everybody then stands. Deimos is still flicking through his book and be like, just back off, I'll sort this. And you all go your separate ways.
I'll turn to Ender. I'm so glad that all I have to do is, not even pick my sword. It's done.
Ready to go. That's your prep.
Cool. And I think then, based on that, given we are about to kick off till tomorrow morning, let's take a wee break and be back here in a few minutes.
See you in a minute.
Nice.
Heyo!
Hello.
Hello.
We are back. So first thing I will do as soon as we are back is thank you everyone who has joined us thus far. We are getting out of Esmir for now, so we're going to see what happens. But yes, thank you for the support. Thank you to those that are subscribed. Thank you to those that have followed. If anybody feels like they want to follow or subscribe, or there's a donation link as well if you want to use that as well. Every little bit of support is much appreciated, and any support you can give us obviously means we can do more things like the big giveaway that we've just done and get more prizes. I suppose on that note, I have just got an agreement with Arcane Anthems. Not that I needed to apparently make an agreement with them, but anybody that's familiar with the D&D scene know that he is one of the greatest creators of just D&D ambience music. So I've got an agreement from them to be able to use some of their tracks on stream if we need to. So thank you very much for that, mate, and we will give you a shout out whenever they get used. But yeah, so obviously the more support we get, the more things we can do, the more collaborators we can get involved in, and those sorts of things. So yes, with that, we all have a long rest, and Kirik gets to pick his new spells. A couple of other people get to pick spells as well, and then the following morning everybody begins to sort of prepare fairly early to leave. Basically, the mages are up and getting teleportation spells ready. It looks like there's going to be multiple out in the courtyard outside, rather than using that single fixed teleportation circle, if you like. They're actually creating these multiple ones that are all going to go to the same place, so it could be fun. But yes, there is a plan basically to go to Telmer. As you wake up, Ander, with Mirabelle at your side, as she always is, there is a message in your brain as you sort of come to, and you can see she's propped up on one shoulder, just sort of looking at you. You will be careful, won't you?
Don't they always come back?
Make sure you do.
I haven't let you down yet. I don't plan on starting now.
Make a little promise you can't keep, okay?
Well, technically with Kirik, he can always bring me back, even if the worst was to happen.
I suppose that's fair. Make sure you all come back then.
Well, I can't promise all of us will return.
I mean,
Thinking of Lena's men. Okay.
before you. make sure the Wardens return. And as you nod, she's going to give you a very a very wet kiss as there are tears flowing out of her eyes a little bit, and then she just gets up and it just leaves very quickly, sort of hurries out. But yet again, you can see your armour is laid out, your weapons are laid out, same for everyone. Everything's been cleaned once again, not that it needed to be cleaned, but everything's been cleaned, polished. You've got sort of packs ready to go with rations for the next... I think everybody's at least got sort of 6 days worth of rations. And yes, is there anything else you wish to do, Ander?
I'm just thinking to myself, it's nice not sleeping rough. Realising I'm about to go and sleep rough out in the wilderness.
I will say you can see there's tents being packed as well.
Oh. It'd be better than just some twigs and vines. So yeah, I'm just making the most of my comfy bed for the last 10 minutes before I'm going to go sleep on a twig.
Good stuff. Dargon, is there anything you're doing this morning?
Training.
Finish me whiskey. Training. So Dargon's been up earlier than most.
Training and reading my map. Very... reading Deluin's map and the map on the way down, see if there's anything that is, on there. So all of that lot.
Okay, good stuff. I'm going to do Kirik a favour and say that he is up, but spends 2 hours reading his book.
Oh yeah, those books we completely forgot about.
That doesn't sound like us.
Oh man, where is my book? Hang on. It's here somewhere. There. Oh my god, I'm like 6/10 of the way through.
There we go. Bothrid will just be doing Bothrid stuff. Was going to cook and then realises everything's been set out, so he just starts to collect everything up. And Bothrid will go around and he sort of wanders outside the keep by himself for a little bit, sees you training Dargon, and then he thinks, it's all a bit bare around here. So he's just going to walk around and sort of, his hands are just going to pass over things, and as they pass, just druid crafts, like flowers and stuff, and makes the outside of the keep actually now a lot more in bloom. Where there were once tree stumps that had long died and withered away and almost rotted in the water, they begin to spark back to life, and there's little shoots that come out of them, little saplings begin to form. It was almost like this moment of clarity and calm for Bothrid as he just turns and looks upon the keep. It's not quite my garden, but it'll do. And then he'll come back inside as you're all there, sort of getting your gear on, getting packed. You can see Deimos sort of struggling with a bit of fucking strapped. Get on your back, you fucking... I'm in, fuck it. And Remley's there, just sort of with his various items, and a new longsword, which I was about to do. Do you say that was a flame tongue longsword?
Yep.
Remley Shield Smasher. So I'll get that added to his inventory. Flame tongue longsword. Add to equipment. And attune. It's Remley's first attuned item. And we can long rest Remley now. Excellent. So that's Remley. Let's make sure Micaiah's got hers added if she's not already got one in there. Just because I may need all these people at some point. Cool. Is there anything you want to do as a group just while I'm sorting this out? Any conversations that you want to have?
I actually, yeah, there is. While I was in my chambers last night, I did think to myself, thinking on how we were, once we get the source, what we're going to do with it. And thinking back to what Theo said to us, he did say the reason he was supposed to have killed me is that only my bloodline or my family line can free this place. So I must be the key somehow. So we might not need the soul of my ancestor, because that curse or that bond might now be within me. So my family line can break the curse, break the wish. Doesn't mean I know how to do that yet. But hopefully once we get the fourth source, I might be able to do that.
And
as and when.
Kirik will then chime up and say... In fact, Kirik wasn't there, so Bothrid will chime up and say instead,
or maybe it's like when we went to the big ice place and you saw the ghost. And we didn't see it till like we got to his tomb. When we met these two, well, Romney and Gindrix.
Yeah.
You
got your little stabby.
I suppose that you mean that, like, you think that we're going to see the ghost of this person?
Well, I do, if he's a key, maybe it's like only he can see him. I don't know, or maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I wonder if only when we all have control of it will we be able to force us to be able to see this soul. I'm out of my depth
Maybe it's
here.
only. Me too, Kirik.
Kirik's just there like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, join the club. Deimos, how are your mages doing? Are we ready?
As far as I fucking know, yeah, they're all ready to go. We're doing this sort of a bit of a bomb burst type stuff. Everybody's going through various portals, and then my plan is to have the defenders on one bit of Telmer, because if we all descend on top of it, we're going to flatten the whole fucking village. But yeah, defenders all land through a couple of portals. Us lot, we're going to go through another one, and then yeah, we'll all head south, I guess.
That sounds good. Let's do it. Can I see
Right.
is Lena and or her party army
Not in
around?
the throne room, they are all
we're still
outside.
there. We're still there, yeah. And I'll go make sure that Lena and the army are ready to go.
Thank you.
You are ready.
I'm ready.
I look at the group. I am. Let's do this.
Right, let's go.
I'll walk
And
outside and
everybody
make
just
sure
sort of heaves their
Lena's ready.
stuff on and begins to walk out. As you sort of exit, you can see that Lena is there with Micaiah, and Micaiah is almost shouting in Elvish out to these troops. And as you walk out, there is then a closing sentence, and the elves, all in unison, just sort of come to attention, very Lord of the Rings-esque, where they all just... and then they begin to all one by one, or I say one by one, they're sort of like almost these 4 columns that just march towards these teleportation gates and just sort of all begin to disappear through. Micaiah and Lena are just going to look towards you two, or the 4 of you rather, 5, 6 of you, and are just going to nod. And you hear Lena shout, "We'll see you on the other side, boys." And Deimos is then going to lead you down, sort of, this way. Right, if you fuck this up, turn to the mage now. If you fuck this up, I'm going to tell Prime Arcanum he's going to have your fucking bollocks for this. And Deimos then just steps through. So what are we doing?
Following Deimos.
Yeah.
Cool. So you all follow through. And then you all step into darkness and step out into Telmer, which is a shadow of its former self. Last time you were here, you encountered these strange shadow-like beasts and the carcasses of the creatures they once rode. You can still see the shadow imprints on the floor. The defenders have all sort of formed up, ready to begin a march south. And you can see Lena and Micaiah there, and they just sort of turn by the lead of the king, I think.
On your left.
And what you notice is that there are 2 banners now being carried by the defenders. There is one which is just pure River's End, and then there is a second which is River's End, but over the top there is a splinter thorn crest and a flash of purple across the back.
Aye, well, let's not fuck about. Let's get this on show on the road.
And Remley's just going to sort of nudge you in the backhander.
You're fucking moving, will you?
Alright, so then what you'll see me do to lead the troops, or something I haven't used yet, I'll go into my bag and you'll see me pull out a figurine of a goat, and then almost like, when I choose a Pokemon, I'll then throw it to the ground. Billy, I choose you, and then it will turn into a large goat, which I can then use as a riding horse. And it has the statistics of a riding horse, and it's got 24 charges that I can use 1 per hour for 24 hours.
Nice. As you then mount up on this goat, which you're going to have to name said goat now.
It's got to be Billy, innit?
I'll come back to you. Are you just calling it Billy, yeah? Kirik is going to mount up on Peggy. I'll keep an eye on you from the skies. And just trots and launches into the air.
Well, that's not conspicuous at all.
What you do notice is that Kirik climbs higher, and as he climbs higher and higher, actually gets to the stage where you can't really discern horse from bird.
Oh.
And he just begins to sort of circle around you for now.
That's a little better. Good man.
Aye, we've all got fucking tricks up our sleeves now, won't we?
Well, my only concern is it's bad enough when you get shit on by a bird. Imagine Peggy shitting on you from a great height. Knock you unconscious, just dent your helm and you pass out on the floor.
Excellent, and the march begins. Now you've worked out from the map that this is probably going to take 4.5 days to get down there, if you are following the river. If you decide to head straight across the plains, it will be quicker, but that takes you potentially closer to the Platinum Peaks. So the question is, folks, are we following the river and the main road from Telmer, or are you going to try and forge your own path through the plains?
We are following the road. And say, unless anyone else has any other ideas, we will follow the road, and obviously we'll stop each day. But on that last half day before is when it will be our our fallback. So that one.
Sorry, 3.5 days, not 4.5 days. Apparently, I can't count.
3.5. But either way, that half day is the important one. That's the one where we're actually all ready. So at the moment, for now, it will be people are spread out and in a sensible path, but otherwise there are rotations of guards to everyone else. Not everyone is ready for battle. It is more of a convoy. It will be that half day when everyone is actually marching in order.
Okay. Everybody make me a perception, please. perception check.
Rolling like dog shit tonight.
17 for me.
15. I've even got advantage and I'm rolling crap.
Okay. Good to know.
Does that also include Kirik?
Kirik's up in the sky. The new.
Of course he fucks off.
That's mainly to make things easier for me to manage.
Yeah.
Because Sinar's not here. So yes. Well, let's do one for Bothrid as well, just to be on the safe side. Bothrid is there. I suppose I can do Rimley as well. Yep, Bothrid ain't got a fucking clue.
He's admiring the plants on the other
and that's
side.
with a +8 to perception as well. Or would he? Would I roll a 10? No, wouldn't. And Remley gets that, which is a 7. So yeah, cool. Nobody notices. Convoy continues on. You walk along the river.
Just before that, sorry, I know we covered over it. Is Telma a ghost town? No one there.
There's no one there.
Right.
But the last time you entered Telma, it was a ghost town as well.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to know: has anyone come back? Was there anyone taking refuge there? I would have checked as we came out. I just forgot that.
That's fine. I will say you find nothing.
It's fine. I was making a stupid joke about on your left.
On your left. Amazing. Cool. So you begin to follow the road and follow the river. And there is that dull light with the cloud cover that's overhead. It's permanently a cloudy day here now. Sunlight doesn't really break through. Somehow most of the vegetation seems to be surviving even on that minimal sunlight. In fact, with the sort of shadow as well, grasses have begun to grow a little bit more wildly than usual. And you continue on for a number of hours, and your party itself sort of leads the convoy, so to speak. You get to a bend in the river. Excellent. As you get to this...
For you or for... Excellent for you
bend,
or for us?
As you get to this bend in the river, you notice that even though there's trees dotted on the river itself, the majority of the road itself sits in like this grassland type area. And I need to double check if Kirik has a particular spell.
So I break my microphone.
No, he doesn't. So everybody make me a perception check, please.
Right, you guys are failing.
In fact, the two of you make me perception checks.
Go back to that one. Any better?
That is a 24.
Cock and balls.
Okay.
Honestly, 13. None of these are rolling any good today. No, you rolled better then, didn't you? Can't pick a single D20. All of them are rolling bad.
So what'd you get?
$13.
Okay. Ander, then, you look out to sort of the right where this grassland extends out, and you can see that there's like a circular area of this knee-high grass, if you like, that's just been flattened. And at that moment there is just this and the sound of hooves, as Kirik lands, you see that, right? Just points at this circular area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got my eye. Then we'll point it out to you as well, Dagon, so you can see.
There's more of it. It's weird. It's almost like it looks from where I was, almost like a quarter mile of these circles just pressed down in the grass.
How big are these circles?
Quarter mile across.
Is this some sort of illusion hiding something? I shall cast...
Kirik's going to pick up a stone and just throw it.
Well, I shall also cast Detect Magic.
Okay, as you cast Detect Magic. No auras.
Whoops. What could leave something this big? Did you say that? Did you say there's more than one of these, or just this massive?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them joined together.
Oh, so they don't look like footsteps.
Strange. No, they're like a weird sort of pattern type thing.
Oh, we're the only ones who had a flying ship, so it can't be that.
Yeah, it's also perfectly circular, so... I mean, it's odd, but this is beyond me. And if it's
unless
not an elite...
somebody's making like a spell circle in the grass.
It's a hell of a spell circle.
It's a big spell circle. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I couldn't see anything else around, so it was a bit weird.
It is weird that we're not seeing any magical energy coming from it or sensing anything from it other than it's just a pattern.
Yeah, we can do. We've never walked down here, to be fair. But maybe this is remnants of old wild magic. Not recent, as we have discussed, that it hasn't happened recently.
Could well be.
Yeah, after all, there was a bit of silk coming out of his chest a few months ago, so, random stuff.
Touche.
I'll continue on?
Should we consult the others, do you think? Lena may have seen this sort of stuff before.
I mean, that's up to you.
We'll go
just
speak
in
to
the
her.
instance of time,
but
maybe.
Yeah, Kirik, you head back up. Stay high. You look like a bird when you're up there. Bye.
Bye to that.
I'll run
the
forward
convoy
and
continues rolling on, and yeah,
I'll run forward and I'll
run back.
Run back. Sorry, yeah. Lena, you seen anything like this? Those big pressed down circles in the grass?
It's quite bizarre. No, to be totally honest.
Yeah, Kirik saw 3 of them. In a sort of a shape.
3?
Yeah, we don't really know what they are. There has been obviously a lot of wild magic over the past couple of years, so didn't know if it was that.
It could be that, I guess. Who knows? Did Kirik see anything else, or was it just these circles?
He said he just saw that, and I do have the ability to be able to sense or see magic. There doesn't seem to be any sort of illusion there, so I think we're okay. Anyway, curious.
Interesting. Well, if there's nothing there, then we'll pass the message back to keep eyes out. But we've got more important things at hand, I guess.
We do. It was just, double checking that it wasn't a new immediate threat that anyone's aware of. I'm going back to the front.
Appreciate that one. Excellent. So you continue on, and it begins to rain lightly over the next couple of hours or so. And you all start to get sort of this just fine film of moisture over you in your packs. And you can see Deimos is fucking miserable at this point. It's like, fucking hell. No one said it was going to fucking rain. What I'll give for a fucking hut right now. And just continues wandering on. Every now and again you see Deimos just sort of almost mutter quietly and look to himself. No one asked you, you just be fucking quiet, alright? And continues to wander on. And the first day comes to a close. You all pitch up camp, which is weird for you because this is no longer just the small camp that you're used to. This is you and 200 men, women, folk in a war band, basically. So these tents just extend along the river now. As you all bed down, again, I'm going to ask you all to make me a perception check, please.
Ooh.
Okay. I would at that point, instead of trying to make us take watch, would chat to Lena about, making sure they've got enough people on the perimeter keeping watch. That'll be a natural 20.
I got. Ooh. I got a 25.
For a total of? 25
Perception.
And yeah.
26.
26. The both of you, as you're sort of camping down, and there's various fires that have been started with difficulty on damp grass, but eventually Deimos just sort of like, fuck this, and fireballs something, or not quite fireballs, but at least uses some cantrips to get some fire started. And there's a few clear mages or arcane rangers that manage to do the same, and eventually these fires spark up. And as one of the fires sort of sparks up and an ember launches into the sky, you see this tiny figure clutching the side of a bush, not 20 feet away from you.
Clutching a tree.
Say again?
Clutching a tree, did you say?
Clutching a bush, side of a bush, tiny.
Have I ever seen this type of creature before?
Make me a nature check, please. Or, nature, arcana, or religion. Any of the three.
They are all identical. So that'll be a 14 on nature, as you said the first one.
This thing looks, from the silhouette that you can see, like a very, very tiny devil type creature. It's got these strange leathery wings, this tail, these claws, and these tiny little horns off the top of its head. And now you stare at it, even though it's shrouded in darkness, you can see the fire reflected in like these lamp-like eyes.
And something there.
I will take one of the logs out of it and use it as a torch and sort of point it towards it to try and illuminate it more.
Is it quite far away?
20 feet away.
Okay. But I'll do that anyway, so it's not in dim light anymore. It's more in bright light.
Cool.
Is that
So you
casting in the
light
dark?
a log, create a torch, and move forward slightly. And as you move forward, you just see this thing just launch itself 40 feet into the air. Looks like it's beginning to fly away.
Sacred Flame.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll
That's
pull out.
a
I'll
roll to
pull out
hit.
Timuel's Wrath, and yeah, sort of, there's this pulse that just energizes and goes straight out the sword towards. Roll to hit.
Roll to hit
will
then, please.
Be no, it won't. It's a Dexterity 15 saving throw.
Dexterity 15 saving throw. Same both times. That is going to be a grand total of 8.
Oh my god! It actually worked for a change. Oh my god. That is not bad for a cantrip, not gonna lie. Oh, That is... What is it? Is it radiant damage? I do believe so.
I think so.
That is 20 points of radiant damage.
Boom.
This sacred flame streaks out from the tip of Timiel's Wrath. It strikes into this creature, and you can just see this creature just sort of get struck. The wings just fold around it then as it just lands and rolls. Probably around 15 feet in front of where you are now. It went 40 feet up into the air. So just gentle thud.
I'll go up to it. Check it's dead. Probably poke it once.
Okay, so you sort of get Timiel's Wrath, and bearing in mind you are like a glowing beacon.
Yeah.
You sort of step forward and you use Timiel's Wrath and just sort of nudge it, and this tiny red-skinned devil-like creature is laying there broken. You can see where your spell has caught it almost directly in the lower sort of his abdomen and chest, and there's like this radiant scorch mark across it. The eyes are rolled back into the skull, the tiny skull, and it lays there, and you see an imp dead on the floor.
I will pick it up, carry it back towards the group, and I shall lob it near our central camping area fire, whatever it may be there.
Cool.
What's this
You
thing?
do to sort of
Anyone seen it before? I'm guessing it's a scout.
and yeah, we'll just say Remley's going to sit there and say,
I've seen little shits like this before. It's an imp.
Do they work alone, or should we be looking for others?
Well, they're usually little spies. So I can only assume that someone's trying to spy on us. Maybe there was one in Tilma.
I'm very much not surprised. Can't really say that.
Well, at least you got this one.
Yeah. You won't be heading back with any information.
Aye. Best we spread the word. Keep an eye out. Maybe double the guard.
Good idea.
We can't let any scouts get word back on what we're doing.
Aye.
Emily, stay with the king. I'll go and pass the word around.
No, it's fine, Doug. I'll do it. You get your rest.
Very good.
and Remley just sort of shuffles off down.
I'll quickly say in my head to the other sword, thank you, it was a good shot.
I'm merely a vessel, Dargon. That was your quick thinking and aim.
That was good. Cheers.
It was good. Good to take out something of its ilk, at least.
I believe there's going to be plenty more.
Indeed. Best get your rest, Dargon. I suspect there's more to come.
Oh, aye.
Excellent. We will say then that the group beds down for the evening, and there are defenders that take up the watch for the whole night. Lena and Micaiah sort of saying, you guys need your rest for what you need to do, so we will use the defenders to take watch and guard. From what you can tell, very little else happens in the evening and through the night. Food is prepared, you eat, you drink, you sleep, and the cover of the tents is a welcome break, especially given this steady rain which is continuing to fall now. As the sun rises in the morning, there is almost like gentle messages outside all of your tents to rise and pack up and move, and you do, and there again is some breakfast brought to you, and about an hour and a half later the war band is on the move again. You continue that southerly approach down the river itself and bend round, and eventually, maybe about halfway through the day, 3/4 of the way through the day, there is a small stream which breaks across, and a small wooden bridge. And as you sort of look towards this bridge, and it is a small wooden bridge, and there's sort of questions around, is this going to hold for 200 folks? There's shuffling and the trees and the bushes around. And then a single bull-like creature steps out of these bushes and looks towards you all, and sort of, as it sees you, it stamps on the ground and rakes the ground with one of its hooves, and just and as it puffs out this green sort of mist, just exudes out of its mouth. You see that this thing is covered in, where it would be skin, it's almost like metallic plates of sorts. And as it does so, I need everybody to roll initiative, please.
Wait.
Fucking hope this isn't what I think.
I love wild encounters.
I fucking hope it's not this.
Be good on initiative. Be good. Middling. 16 for me.
Bear with. So, I'm going to take Kirik out of this because he's in the sky. But we will have Remley and Bothrid. So, that was a what for you, sorry, Ander? 18? 15?
16.
16, in the middle somewhere. Dargon?
14.
14. Let's do a Bothrid roll. Disadvantage. 18 plus stuff. Away a Bothrid. There we go. 18 plus 3 with a 21, and then Remley. Not great, even though he's got a +8. There's a 12. Excellent. So you should be able to use the same Owlbear radio link as we have continually done. Let me just drop this into... In fact, it's in Discord anyway, but I will dump it in again, just for shits and giggles. So yeah, let's get some things populated. Danny's already there.
Ooh, that's a nice map. Shadows.
Yeah, I nicked this one. I did nick this one and tweak it. So again, thank you to the Incarnate community, because this was anonymous, which is always good fun.
Nice.
Cool, let's populate some tokens as well.
Gorgeous.
So we need a Dargon. Let's put a Dargon there.
In other news, my cat's just used a litter box and it fucking stinks.
Let's have an Ander.
My nose rolled a 20 on perception for that fucker.
Bothrid.
Could roll a 1 and still know about it.
And a Renly. So there we go, there's the 4 of you, with everybody else sort of filtering behind, and Kirik's overhead. Deimos is actually back with the defenders somewhere. And as that then happens, let's move that over there so I can track that. We'll put Bothrid's character sheets and Remley's character sheet down. We're going to minimise that. The DM's going to sort his shit out. And there we go. almost like I'd planned this. So Bothrid is up first, and he sees this sort of bull-like creature.
I really hope he's not what I think it is.
Approaching. And Bothrid is, rather than going to rage, is instinctively going to turn into a giant boar as he wild shapes.
Why not?
And he's just going to, well, first he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20 to there, and then he's going to grow to a large beast as he becomes a giant boar.
Good, none of us can get past.
That's kind of Bothrid's thinking. So, wild shape to that, and still got movement left, because how far did he move? 5, 10, 15. So yes, he's still got movement, so he's then going to go, let's just put him in a double square, there we go. So he's then going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 as a charge. And he's going to attempt to make a tusk attack against this thing. Which is an unnatural 20 to hit. Now I just need to double check the size of these things, because yes, I got this wrong. They are large. Why is that not working? Oh, teething issues with Albert today. We'll get there in a minute, folks. Apologies for the silence.
I'm really curious to know whether it is what I think it is, but I'm not going to say because I just think we're going to find out.
You will find out in a minute. Excellent. So that's a tusk attack against A, which hits, just hit, and that will then be. What is that? 2d6 plus 3. 1, 7, 10 points of slashing damage, plus an additional 2d6, 10, 15, that jumped out, back in you go, 20 points of slashing damage, and needs to make a saving throw in a minute, so 20 points of slashing damage. And then a strength saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
Yay. That is an unnatural 20 for the creature. It is not knocked prone as this giant boar of Bothrid just smacks into it. That will be Bothrid's go. Yeah, Ander.
So, is Bothrid obscuring my view from the creature now? Like, I couldn't get an arrow off, could I?
Depends, you can always move along the bank.
That is true. That is true. What I will do, though... Will I? No, I won't. Yeah, I will move along the bank rather than wasting some spell slots. So, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'll go this way, actually. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Can I be under that tree? Is that?
Yes, you can.
Cool. And then I will fire off an arrow at A. Just a bog standard arrow on the hunting bow. 22 to hit.
That's right, there's a fucking fly under my desk somewhere. I keep brushing up against my leg. 22 will hit.
With piercing damage of 13, and then sneaky attack because it's engaged with Bothrid.
Yep.
with a... Oh, that's not too bad, actually. Sneak attack of 21.
21 points of damage. I will say, as you then move along the bank and can now see a bit further across, you do see this one. And I will say that one as well.
Oh, there's a few. Brilliant. Okay.
Anything else in your turn?
Well, if I'd have seen them before, I'd have probably done something different.
That's the point of keeping them hidden.
Will I do a bonus action? Well, he's baffled within range of me, actually. If I give him Bardic Inspiration, let's check. I want to measure. Oh, yeah, I will give Bardic Inspiration to Bothrid.
You're going to give Bardic Inspiration to Bothrid?
Yep. I feel like he's going to have to make a saving throw in a minute.
There we go, Bardic Inspiration. Excellent, so that is then your go unless you wish to move anymore?
No, thank you.
No, cool. It is then Dargon's go.
Do I see a way that I can get past Bothrid?
There is, I mean, this bridge is probably about 15 feet wide, so there is a narrow gap that you can squeeze through past here if you wish to go that way.
Yeah, I can't really make it anyway, unfortunately.
Not unless you dash.
Not really fun. Can I see A from here?
Yes.
Not obscured.
You would be able to
by
see
Bothrid.
it. Not as such. Depends on what you want to do. It's going to be in like half cover, basically.
Then I will fire another Sacred Flame at it. So I shall pull out my sword and again do the same, point it straight towards A. Pulse goes straight up the sword.
Dexterity saving throw, yeah?
Yes.
19.
I believe with the Sacred Flame, it
Ooh,
means
that's
that
good.
it's fuck
That's
all.
a save. I think it was a 15 for you. There. That's a save. As this
Also.
Sacred Flame just scatters across this iron plate-like armour.
In which point then I shall move up to there, which will be my 30 feet. And as a bonus action, can I still aim at A? Or again, am I like, is it got half cover?
It's definitely in half cover there from where you are.
Can't get round it. I don't really want to do that just yet. Yeah, well, okay, that'll be a bonus action hex on it.
What the heck's it? Okay. Hexed!
That Sacred Flame, as it passes around it, then essentially stays on it. I am now concentrating.
And what would you like to do with that hex?
I should like to do a strength ability check, I believe.
I want to give it this on strength. Excellent. Cool. Anything else on your turn?
That's my go.
Excellent. This thing is then just going to sort of lift up slightly, stomp its hooves into the ground and just snorts out this breath in a 30-foot cone. I need a Constitution saving throw from you and Bothrid. Bothrid's going to have to use the boar stats.
24.
27 for Bothrid. So you are both
Nice
fine.
Bothrid.
As this breath just sorts to... and you can almost feel In fact, when you look down at your skin, it's almost like it goes grey for a moment, but then just dissipates over. Excellent. So then a second creature is going to just appear, and 5, 10, 15, 20 to there. And it is going to just breathe out. Which I think 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You are just in that cone, Dargon.
Yeah.
So Bothrid's going to save again. Constitution saving throw, please.
29.
29, yeah, you save as well. Again, your skin sort of goes greyish, or even more grey. And that will be its go. C is just going to sort of shuffle around here, 5, 10. I will say you then notice other creatures and other shuffling, which makes it abundantly clear where they are. That one to move there, E's already there, and then we'll say F appears out from under a tree on the bank there, and so that will be their go. It's them Remley's go. Good old Remley. Who, the first thing he's going to do is he'll take out the long sword. And Andy, you probably the only one in sort of audible range at this moment. And you hear him just say, Karad, and flames just lick along the blade. And he will then... what's he going to do? What is Remley going to do? Too many browser windows to keep track of. And you can tell we've not done combat in a few weeks. So he's only got 25 feet of movement. Can't use his bonus action because he's just done that. So that'll be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to there. That's going to be Remley, because I don't think he's got any actions that are worthwhile. Yeah, that will be Remley's go, and we are then around to... very quick top of the round, Bothrid. However, I'm going to say, as we've reached the top of the round, and we are almost at the 3-hour mark there, I think we will leave this for tonight, and we will pick it up again next week to see where this battle with these creatures go. I know we've only just got into it, but I'm conscious we went over last week, and I don't want to tire people out too much. So I hope everybody's enjoyed that. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. You can all now sit in trepidation for a week and shit your pants, figuring out what we need to do with these creatures.
Thanks, mate.
That's all right, mate. Don't say I don't provide things for you and keep you entertained.
Trouble is, I think I know what they are, and I'm kind of scared.
I have no
clue. I will say then, while this is going on, overnight, a small creature has been fluttering through the darkness, fluttering through the nights, heading west. And as it sort of crests over a dark black mountain, before it there are these stretching deserts with this orange glowing chasm in the middle, and in the distance a city, a black walled city. And it continues on. It's been flying day and night now. And in the morning, eventually, it just flumps down on a battlement where it is collected by an armoured figure. And its vision is sort of just fading in and out at this point. Flashes of light and the sky, which is very orange here. Black walls, a room, a chair, red skin, And it feels itself placed on a table or something, and it just lays there, its little chest just sort of going up and down. Well, little one, tell me what you saw. To fly so far. And coughed words and infernal come out of this imp. So Telma, and they march south. Interesting. I do like a challenge. I wonder if they will. Oh, how interesting that will be. Oh well. I suppose it's time they proved their worth. Go on, little one, you can pass now. I have no more need for you. And the chest, as this imp sort of looks down at its body, its chest just rises. And slowly but surely, the vision just blinks. And there is darkness. And that's where we'll end tonight. So, thank you all once again for joining us. Yes, we will see you next week for the continuation of this fight. Kirik will be back with us next week, and we will get into Deluin at some point. So do not miss out on that. Just as a heads up, in a couple of weeks there will be a night off from Malt Magic. So the 12th of September, we're all going to take a night off. Our resident Mr. Wizard has taken some holiday. I've got some work commitments to do, so we're going to take that night off. Just as a pre-warning for everyone. I will warn you again close to the time. But yes, thank you for the subs, thank you for the follows, thank you for being with us, thank you for all the contributions in chat. Thank you to my awesome players, as always. And I think that's it for tonight. We've been the Malt Magic crew. This has been episode 105 of the Forgotten Kingdom of Nylin, as we barrel towards the end game, really. But yes, join us again next week, same time, same place. Much love to you all. Stay safe. See you then.